When the industry gave in to greed, Team Cherry stood as the last stronghold of creativity. While microtransactions took over the gaming world and single-player games were left to rot, they created Hollow Knight, a risky, uncompromising masterpiece. In an age where every second game aims to squeeze out maximum profit with minimal effort, this small studio proved that art and commerce can coexist in harmony. Team Cherry remains one of the few studios willing to take creative risks and build what others wouldn't even dare to dream. Games made with soul for players, not shareholders. But if Silksong fails, it won't just hurt Team Cherry. It'll send a message to the entire industry that safe, soulless, greedy games are the future. It'll confirm that artistic vision is too risky, that passion and craftsmanship aren't enough currency in a market ruled by analytics and profit optimization. Because at this point, it's not about money anymore. Team Cherry is fighting for their legacy, for their reputation, and for the trust of an entire community that has waited years for the next chapter in the story. This goes beyond gaming. This is everything they've built over the years. Painstaking work, sleepless nights, thousands lines of code, and millions of pixels brought together into a work of interactive art. And all of it is a risk from a single failed release. One mistake, one compromise in the wrong place, and years of work could turn to disappointment. To millions of us, Hollow Knight isn't just entertainment, it's an era in our lives. A timeless odyssey through the depth of a forgotten kingdom, one that pulled us into a world where every turn held new danger and discovery. Some locations became so iconic you could draw them from memory. The towering spires of the City of Tears, the haunting depths of Deepness, the glowing mushroom groves of the fungal wastes, these places left a permanent mark on players' hearts, becoming beacons in the darkness of the gaming world. Hollow Knight showed us the power of Team Cherry's storytelling, making us care about a Silent Night more than entire game genres combined. Without a single line of dialogue, the protagonist conveyed determination, resilience, and tragedy simply by moving through the world, fighting enemies, and exploring the ruins of hollowness. It was storytelling through environment, through action, through subtle details, and art many developers now ignore in favor of lengthy cutscenes and exposition. That reputation wasn't built on stability, it was built on craftsmanship and an unwavering commitment to vision. The first release took years of careful work, polishing every mechanic to shine. Silksong has already taken 6 years and is still in production, an unbelievable timeframe for an indie project, speaking volumes about the ambition and perfectionism of its creators. Over the years, they released a masterpiece that built a devoted fan community, a community that doesn't just play, it lives the game, creating fan art, writing theories, hosting challenges, making mods, even getting tattoos of favorite characters. This isn't just a game, it's a cultural phenomenon, born from the dream of a small team. They've set the bar so high that other indie studios fear announcing release dates, worried about inevitable comparisons. But when a legacy is this powerful, even a small crack can feel like an earthquake. Team Cherry doesn't have the luxury of releasing a good game. It has to be revolutionary, or it will be seen as a letdown. What makes Silksong different from previous Team Cherry release is the weight of expectations. Because this isn't just a game anymore, it's one of the most anticipated indie projects in the history of entertainment. 6 years of waiting have turned fan hopes into something nearly mythical, a legend that must either become real or shatter against the harsh cliffs of game development. Even years later, Hollow Knight is still being played, challenged, and loved. Players still face the hardest Pantheon trials, create mods, and complete speedruns. That's the scale of expectation Silksong faces. It has to not just follow up, but surpass a game still considered a genre-defining masterpiece. But this isn't 2017. The world has changed, the industry has changed, and so have we. We've become more demanding, more critical, and sometimes less patient. We've seen the rise and fall of even the most respected studios, and that's made us cautious. Games today are analyzed before they're even out, broken into pieces and judged pixel by pixel. Team Cherry has shown us a few trailers and screenshots and glimpses of gameplay, but it's nowhere near enough to form a real opinion on whether they've pulled off another Hollow Knight. Every detail is studied under a microscope. Every hornet movement is compared to the knight. That's the level of feedback Team Cherry will face on launch day. And it's not just fans watching. The entire indie developer ecosystem is watching too. Hollow Knight became a symbol of what a small team with big vision can accomplish. Now, all their peers are waiting to see what happens next. Inside Team Cherry, this pressure creates a very specific atmosphere. Developers know there's no room for maybe. This is one of the most anticipated indie games in the world. It can't be just good enough, it has to be perfect. It has to carry the soul of the original and offer something completely new. It has to feel fresh, yet familiar, deep but not overwhelming. Balancing that edge is a monumental task. This is no longer just hype, it's years of expectations stacked like dynamite, waiting for a spark. Because when something this big fails, it's not just forgotten, it's remembered, for all the wrong reasons. We've seen too many examples of sequels that couldn't live up to the original, and those shadows undoubtedly haunt Team Cherry as they work, and Team Cherry knows this better than anyone. Their silence speaks louder than any announcement. They understand that releasing the game too early with compromised quality will be a fatal mistake. Better to endure years of silence than an irreversible disappointment. The genius of the first Hollow Knight was in its carefully crafted world, intuitive level design, and challenging combat. Every area was distinct, every boss was a memorable test of reflexes and strategy. The game's story was told without words, through the environment and tiny details scattered across the vast map. It was a work of art, where every element mattered. Ironically, too much time may be the most dangerous part, because the more time passes, the more people dream, and dreams have no limits. With every passing day, expectations become less realistic. I hope Team Cherry is doing well, not drowning in crunch, but building the decade's greatest Metroidvania in a healthy, inspired way. Behind every delay, every leak, every unrealistic wishlist are real people trying to create a story without destroying themselves in the process. People putting not just their time and skill, but a piece of their soul into the game. That's why Silksong is more than a sequel. It's a game the entire industry watches like a rare natural event. Something that happens once in a decade. It's a test. Can lightning strike twice? Can the magic of the first Hollow Knight be reborn? Because if it succeeds, it will once again raise the bar for indie games. It will define what Metroidvanias can be for the next 10 years, a new gold standard for the genre. It will prove that patience, craftsmanship, and artistic vision still matter in a world dominated by algorithms and retention metrics. But if it fails, the cost won't just be a few bad reviews. It will be years of lost trust, years of lost momentum, a painful punch not just to Team Cherry, but to the entire indie industry that sees them as proof of what's possible and when you don't compromise your vision. Every publisher, every developer, every indie team, they're all watching. What happens next might change how games are made, how they're funded, and how people believe in them. This isn't just a release, it's a manifesto, a statement about the direction the industry will take, safe and profitable, or bold and revolutionary. That's why Hollow Knight Silksong is more than a game. It's the biggest bet indie gaming has ever seen, and it's happening right before our eyes, in real time, with every day of waiting and every scrap of new information. This is a legend being written now, and we are all its witnesses.